So it's been a while, it's been about 2 weeks, although if you are watching the podcast, you can't see I am still on there live every single week. Last week I was just busy with work, so this time I am back and I filled up 2 weeks worth and I compiled it to the best of what happened in the 2 weeks. Not too much happened, so thankfully that was good, but we will see what will happen, and I really did the highlights of what happened. So let's start off with AKB48 as always, and if this is your first time watching, it goes in order of AKB, graduated members, and 46. So starting off with the 51st single of AKB48, it was actually shown on ANN. The song is called JyaaBaaJya, which kind of reminds me of a different style of music, but this one, when you listen to it, isn't exactly A-side material, I think. I think it kind of sounds like a coupling track. It's a little slow in the parts where it doesn't need to be slow. Chorus is alright, but generally it does feel like a coupling track. I feel like AKB at this point can experiment a little bit more, maybe more in the more current kind of trends that they are, but except turning it to their own aspect. I feel like they can actually do something there. Maybe this is their format of experimenting, going into totally different genres and seeing what works and what doesn't. That way with the other groups, unfortunately they might be thinking this way, they see what works. But you can go ahead and check out the link down below in order to hear the preview of this, as long as the link is still available. But they're not the only ones with a new single. NMB48 has now announced their 18th single with the center of Yamamoto Sayaka. Once again, we get to see her come back. So this is great news. This comes out April 4th, so I can't wait to see exactly how this sounds. And next up we have another single to cover, and that is NGT's third single, and actually the artwork has came out for that. And they get more of a snow theme to theirs. There's nothing really stand-outish about them. Like, I can't pinpoint one and be like, yes, this is exactly the one I like. Maybe like Type C, but that's just because of Mahouhon bias. So with this coming out April 11th, this cover seems kind of weird to have come out at that time. I don't know if it's still snowing in Japan at that time. I don't think so. So I don't really know how exactly the snowy theme of it fits in April. And next up, let's talk about STU48 with doing something cool. They get another TV show. They already have Imos Terebi, they have their Stu Bingo, they have that other show, and now they get a new show. The show is called STU48 no Moto STU48. This looks like it will be not on TV, it'll be in a different format, so maybe these will be shorter things and it won't be that much production value into it. But if you're a fan of STU48, then go ahead and try to get your hands on this, because I have no idea where to. And that is on HaremachiTV, if that helps you at all. And next up, let's move to more individual members, starting off with Kitahara, who has finally said when her last stage will take place. It will be at the AKB48 Theater on March 1st. That is coming right up. This is very soon that this is going to happen. And being such a legend, it's really sad to see her go. But hopefully she moves on to better things out there, and knowing her, I bet she's gonna do great things. But speaking of the NGT member, we're gonna go to another NGT member and talk about Nakai Rika, who is now on Twitter. So now you get to see her tweet about all kinds of things, like complaining to fans that she doesn't look like the Pokemon Loudred. You can see that link down below. And now let's move on to Oguri Yui, you know, the Team 8 member, and the fact that now she is a regular member for LARME. And although I don't really like the stylistic choices that LARME does for my personal tastes, it still is good to see her out there and actually becoming a regular model in something. But I saved what can be thought of as the best for last for some people, and that is with Macharin actually having her own song with sort of her own unit. This is for her unit Macharin to Nakama Tachi, which has various members, as you probably see on Kimidare. This will actually be included in the regular edition of the 51st single. So keep your ears peeled for that one. Now let's move on to the graduated member, starting off with Watanabe Mayu starting her official fan club. Now, although this is probably limited to Japanese audiences, I imagine, I still think it's a good idea for her to actually start a fan club. I mean, she is popular enough to actually use this and help support her more. Speaking of support, you can support me on Patreon if you go down in the link below. A little selfish plug in there. So this will start March 1st. Some benefits are you get, you know, the latest activities, know what she's doing. You get advanced tickets, you get merchandise, And there's exclusive media to fans, so maybe like a couple of videos here and there. So if that sounds like a good deal to you, maybe you can find a way to get it. And next up we have Oshima Yuko, who's back in something actually. She's in a commercial for a shampoo brand called Minon. And in this commercial, it's really short. It's like 15 seconds long. You can watch it down below, but really nothing really impactful happens. She pours soy sauce on something and then she like opens up a bag and then reads the shampoo label. That's really what happens. So if you want to watch Oshima Yuko being something new, then go ahead and watch that. If not, then I just told you the plot of it. But I'm glad she's back, definitely. But I mean, if you were like in Los Angeles, you could hit me up or something, right? And next up is Shinoda Mariko, who is appearing in, I'm still not sure exactly what it is, but there's a trailer for it down in the link below. It is for Majimajo Pures. It seems like it's going to be a TV drama, judging from the trailer. So go ahead and look at that trailer down below. She plays a character. It doesn't seem like the most important character there, but it's sort of more of a support character. And that comes out this spring, so you can go ahead and check it out. Then we have a brand new photo book. You guys know I love my photo books. I have like almost 30, so I still have a lot to go, but it's getting there. And I mean, most of those are actually up on my channel if you look for them. But the graduate member who will get a photo book is Oya Masana. So if you're interested in this member, then really go and pick it up. Go check it out and go buy it to support. The title will be Kokura Toast and it will come out the 29th of April. But that's not the only person releasing something physical. Actually, Yamada Nana is going to release a calendar. Now it's kind of late for a calendar in my opinion. But I mean, if you're interested in her and you know, just want to see that calendar with her on it, then this might be your best bet. This calendar book comes out March 16th and you might need to proxy this using Tenso or another service you use in order to get this. And last bit will help us transition to the Nogizaka section and is Ito Marika with two brand new PVs, I'll call them. Because the first one I recommend you watching is Haji Marika, which is her singing about how her journey through Nogizaka has been and basically how the fans have supported her. And it's a really interesting music video, and the reason why I say watch this one first is because the second one is a really interesting turn on what she said. So I watched it in the opposite order and I feel like it would have been better if I watched Haji Marika. So watch that one first, definitely recommend it. Just if you understand Japanese or maybe look up like lyrics, you'll be able to see her journey through Nogizaka and how the fans have played a role into it. But the second one, oh man, this one's called Toy. And let me say, this is a must watch for all of you guys. Like after this video, go ahead and watch that. Like you might have to find it online because the link down there is for some countries only. Thanks Sony. But this one is really impactful. There's a lot of innuendos, there's symbology, there's imagination in there. This is like a lot in this music video. Like I don't even want to spoil anything. Like it's very gritty and very much not Nogizaka-like, and like it's so good. Just go ahead and watch that and let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. I really want to hear what other people think about it, just so I won't be alone in this. But yeah, super impactful. After the video, go ahead and watch that. But then again, watch Haji Marika, then watch this one in order to get the full impact of the difference. Like you see the support over here and then you see, just watch it. Oh, by the way, these music videos were actually parts of her exhibit that she did, and now it's actually released to the public. So whoever went to the art exhibit was in for a treat. And now let's move on to 46. And I'm gonna start off, since we came from the graduated section, I'm going to say it. Shiraishi Mai has graduated from Ray Magazine. So that means she's no longer going to be in Ray Magazine, and now she's up in the air. Maybe she'll be an exclusive model for a bigger name magazine. That way, you know, she could get more money for doing that work. And I mean, I imagine a lot of magazines want her and will be willing to pay a lot of money for her. When I first read this, it was in the Ray Magazine, and then it said Sotsugo, and I was like, oh, and then it was like, okay, from Ray Magazine. So I was like, okay, don't worry guys, let's not think about graduation. Let's focus on the present that they're here right now, and let's not say, she's gonna graduate soon anyway, so why? Just calm down, just enjoy it while she's here. But people were thinking she was gonna graduate because after this, Nogizaka said surprise 46-minute live stream announcement that they're going to announce something big. So when people were like, ah, is it Shiraishi Mai? But luckily, it was the 46-hour live stream. Yes, this is my favorite event that Nogizaka puts on. I watched this like the first year I got into Nogizaka and I was hooked. There's so many great moments in this, and I might have to ask a day off for this, but it's super, super good always. And this time they're gonna make it a little bit different. This time it's gonna be the different Gundans doing their own little section in the live stream for the different platforms that they belong to. Like Wakatsuki Gundan is going to be in Showroom. We got Tulip, who's going to be on YouTube. We got Suika, who's going to be on Line Live. Inumen on AKB4G. Manatsu Respect Gundan on Nico Nico. And we got Sayuringo Army at Rakuten. So it's going to be spread all over the place, and probably I'll have to stick to YouTube or another place that lets me watch it easily with VPN. I'll have to find a VPN. If you guys recommend any VPN, let me know. And yeah, it should be really interesting, and I'll probably watch those later anyways. But if you're curious when this actually takes place, it is the 23rd to 25th of next month. So look forward to that. That usually starts around 5 p.m. their time. In LA, it's like probably like a midnight, but I'll deal with that when it comes. But that's not the only thing announced. They announced the title and the release date for the 20th single, which we all thought was going to be different than what was shown in the commercial. But it's actually the same. It is Synchronicity, and honestly, it didn't leave that much impact on me in the commercial. Hopefully the full song leaves way more of an impact and is a good solid A-side from Nogizaka, because right now, as it looks like, it seems like Hyakizaka is the only one who's going to have the strong one compared to AKB and Nogizaka. But that'll come out April 25th, and since I talked about Hyakizaka a little bit, let's move into them with the new music video for Garaso Ware. Now, this music video is great. There's a lot of little mistakes in the music video. If you pay attention close enough, you'll be able to know what I'm talking about, and that's After Effects stuff. But overall, the music video has a really rebellious yet young feel to it. This is really interesting, and I feel like it has a different vibe from Fukyo Aon, since both of them are kind of like rebellious, but this one feels a little bit more punk to me. So I kind of like the whole theme of it a little bit more, and again, there's probably a whole story to this, connecting everything. We talk about this a lot on the Slope Podcast, which you can actually go check out. And speaking of the Slope Podcast, we actually had Nick, from Nogi Ego on the podcast. So go ahead and take a listen to that. It'll be in the link below. And I really recommend watching it. He gives behind the scenes on Nogi Ego, how the Nogizaka members are behind the scenes, as well as how it is to work in the entertainment business in Japan. It's a really interesting talk, and it was super fun. I'm glad he was able to join us. So go ahead and watch that down in the link below, or just look up The Slope Podcast on YouTube, youtube.com/theslope-podcast. But that's not the only music video that was released. We actually got Bathroom Travel. Now, although it's a unique name, this is actually by 3 members. It is Ozeki, Neru, and Koike, which honestly is a really good setup. And when you hear those 3 members, you honestly think this is going to be a cute song. And we got what we wanted, because I feel like Hyakizaka hasn't really delved too deep into that category, but this one went full on out. And I think it's great for them to explore different things and not limit themselves to being a little bit more depression-like and a little bit more cutesy. Same thing that Hiragana can do. They can actually go into a little bit more rock or a little bit more heavier stuff, as well as the cute stuff. So this is great to see, seeing that they're not limiting themselves that much. And I mean, Koike in that music video, so good, so good. And not to put the others 2 down, I mean, Neru was almost my Oshima, but Koike really stands out. And speaking of the 6th single in general, actually the covers came out, and as you can see them scroll by, you can see that they're almost similarly themed with the jackets and the smoke around it. Smoke is a little bit cheesy, how they do it in some pictures. So I say be careful with the smoke, because there's a little bit too much in these. And if you use too much, it does kind of end up looking like something you see on a royalty-free music site. And while we're at it, let's go to a commercial, going with a Docomo commercial with Hyakizaka in it. It's actually a really interesting commercial. There's 2 versions. One of them is where the boss goes to a Hyakizaka concert and you get to see Garaso Ware being danced. That's a really cool commercial, as well as the other one where the guy who's working with the boss goes and interviews the Nogizaka members. So both of them are really fun music videos. Go ahead and check them out down in the link below. And I mean, Docomo's a big brand, so this is actually pretty cool. And last bit is actually with Nagahama Neru whose photobook is doing so well. Nobody expected it. Well, I didn't expect it. And it has sold over 150,000. I think she's right behind Nanase at being like the most sold in the Sakamichi series. Oh, and I guess while I'm at it, I'll talk about Sakamichi series in general and how there's going to be a brand new group with the Sakamichi series. It is called Yoshimotozaka. That rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? Not a lot of details known about this, but from the general insights that I've gotten, it seems like it will be a group focused on the people inside of the agency Yoshimoto, which is actually a huge company. It's one of the top agencies in Japan. And it seems like they're going to get people from there, maybe like up-and-comers, maybe people who have a lot of potential but aren't getting a lot of jobs, to form together a group and be able to do stuff, whether this is idol-like or this is more of a talent group. Either way, it'll be really interesting because they'll probably choose really good people to go inside of the group. So look forward to that. Don't think of this as a negative, saying like, oh, maybe boys could join the Sakamichi series, because really, like, Nogizaka started with no premise at all. Like, they were the idol group that like didn't have anything bound to them. So seeing as it kept on going on, we see Kiyakizaka being the rebellious one, and then we see the new one coming in, and this kind of continues the Sakamichi line of, hey, this could be anything that people want. So in that aspect, it's okay. In another aspect, I can't see how people are mad that Sakamichi series isn't about idols anymore, if that is the route they go. And that does it for this week. Again, go check out the podcast with Nick from Nogiego. If you want to see him talk about Nogizaka46, you can also subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the podcast channel at youtube.com/theslopepodcast. You can also listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play under the same name. You could even look up Nogizaka or Kiyakizaka46, and we show up in the podcast section, so that's pretty cool. And leave those comments down below, please. I read all the comments. I try to reply to them, but I definitely do read them. They pop up on my phone and I read them. Oh, also, by the way, I am going to do a live stream soon for my Patreon people. If you don't know about this, you can actually join the call live and talk with me as well as with the other people that are there, and kind of like form like a little community. So you can join me in a live stream, and I'm sure with so many people, it'll be a blast. And if you think, oh, hey, this isn't for me, then you can go ahead and stop. It's up to you entirely whether you want to join the live stream and support me a little, or whether you don't want to, really. But that does it all for this week. Thank you all for watching, really, and look forward to next week when I talk about the news, and look forward to a photobook critique.